All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really high-stakes showdown between one of the most advanced AI companies out there and the US military. And trust me, this is way more than just a simple contract dispute. This is a fight over who gets to write the rule book for the future of war. Okay, let's get into it.
So just imagine getting this message. This was the ultimatum, delivered in late February 2026, from the Pentagon straight to the AI company Anthropic. It set a hard deadline, drew a massive line in the sand, and basically kicked off this huge, dramatic confrontation over the ethics of artificial intelligence.
So, what was this all about, really? Well, the whole thing boiled down to two very specific things that Anthropic just would not allow its AI to be used for. And these weren't small details either. For the company, these were red lines that they absolutely could not cross. Okay, so red line number one was all about fully autonomous weapons. Yeah, we're talking about so-called killer robots, systems that can make life or death decisions on a battlefield all by themselves. Anthropic's whole argument was that today's AI just isn't reliable enough for something that critical. I mean, it raises these huge ethical questions about who is accountable when a machine is the one pulling the trigger. And the second red line, that was about mass domestic surveillance. Anthropic's CEO put it pretty bluntly, warning that a powerful AI scanning billions of conversations could be used to, quote, stamp out disloyalty before it even has a chance to grow. The company basically said this is totally incompatible with democratic values and, our basic civil liberties. So to really get why Anthropic was willing to risk so much for these principles, you kind of have to look at the company itself. It was literally founded with a mission of safety first, but that mission was being seriously tested, and it created this really interesting paradox right at the heart of the company. You see, Anthropic was actually started by people who left OpenAI specifically to prioritize AI safety. Its CEO, Dario Amodei, was super clear about it. He said the company would not, under any circumstances, provide a product that it believed could put soldiers and civilians at an unacceptable risk because the tech just isn't there yet. But here's where it gets kind of complicated. While they were publicly taking this really firm stand against the Pentagon, behind the scenes, Anthropic was also tweaking its own safety policies. The company basically admitted that it was really hard to make these big safety promises on their own when all their competitors were just blazing ahead. It definitely paints a much more complex picture of their safety-first identity. Okay, so let's flip the script for a second and look at the other side of this. Let's dig into how the Pentagon saw this whole thing, what they were demanding, and the pretty powerful leverage they were ready to use to get it. From the Defense Department's point of view, this was a matter of principle. They argued that military commanders, who are operating under U.S. law, have to have full control over the tools they use to defend the country. They were not about to let a tech company, and I'm quoting them here, dictate the terms regarding how we make operational decisions. And to back this up, the Pentagon didn't just ask nicely. Oh no, it brought out the big guns with three major threats. First, canceling the $200 million contract. But the real knockout punch was designating Anthropic a supply chain risk, an action that would pretty much blacklist the company from the entire defense industry. So what happened when the clock finally struck 5:01 p.m. on that Friday in February? Well, the deadline passed, Anthropic didn't blink, and the fallout was immediate. It sent absolute shockwaves through the tech and defense worlds. And as you can see from this timeline, things moved fast. I mean, within hours of the deadline, President Trump ordered a government-wide ban on all of Anthropic's technology. The Pentagon made good on its threat, and then, in a crazy turn of events, their main rival, OpenAI, announced it was stepping in to take their place. And here's the kicker. When OpenAI announced its new deal, CEO Sam Altman claimed their agreement actually included the very same safety guards that Anthropic had been fighting for. It was this incredible twist that suggested the Pentagon was willing to give one company the terms it wouldn't give to another. So when all the dust settled, this is what the new lay of the land looked like. A major split right down the middle of Silicon Valley. Anthropic was out, OpenAI was in, and other big players like Google and xAI had already shown they were more willing to work with the military's demands. It really created a whole new divide in the tech industry. This wasn't just a fight between CEOs and generals. It actually kicked off a wave of activism from employees inside these other big tech companies. Over 360 people from Google and OpenAI signed an open letter publicly supporting Anthropic's ethical stand and pushing their own companies not to cave to military pressure. So the really crucial point here is that this one single dispute has massive implications for everyone. It sets a huge precedent for all future tech contracts with the government. It screams to Congress that they need to step in and make some clear laws about AI, like yesterday. And it shows this deep philosophical crack running right through Silicon Valley on how to deal with the incredible power they've built. And that really leaves us with this one critical question for our future. In an age where just a handful of private companies are building tech that's vital for national defense, who actually gets to decide what's safe, what's necessary, and what's right? That's a question we're all going to have to figure out.